All right, welcome back to another video. So I'm not gonna talk a lot in this video. I'm just gonna give you basically my weekly recap, basically for this week and basically my plans for the upcoming weeks. So first things first, let's do the weekly recap. On my Ninja Trader account, I'm up $40,000. This is my live account. I only traded basically one time this week, which was on Sunday since it was rollover. So I didn't really want to take the risk for the remaining days of this week. But I only took basically I think 1 or 2 trades last Sunday, and that's about it. So my live account is obviously up $40,000. On my Top Step account, I only traded my Eval account. As you can see, I do still have 2 Express funded account. So my Eval account, I continued trading that this week, and so far I'm actually up basically 2.5K over this week. As you can see, my P&L calendar, I basically had no losing days. And I do see a lot of comments in the Discord regarding that they want mini trades. And as you can see, on day number 1, I had 50 trades, and see, it only gave me $82. So more trades doesn't mean you're going to be profitable. Because look, 50 trades, it got me 82. One trade, it got me over $800. So more trades is not always a good thing. I always say less trades is more profitable. But on day number 1, I'm not sure what strategy I used on day number 1. I think I was experimenting with something else. So I'm not really sure, but the remaining days I used basically Swift Algo X, basically with the conflux. Same settings, I'll explain that here in a few minutes. But see, only one trade was a winner. This was one trade, one, and one. They're all one trades and no losing days. And this week alone got me 1.5K. Last week was almost $1,000. So looking at my this was the last trade, which was actually on Thursday, because one of my trading rules was to stop trading at Thursday after New York session. So this began Thursday at Asia session, which technically counts as a Friday's trading day. And if I left my automation on that day, this would have actually passed my eval account, because you go to strategy report that this was basically $630. I basically only needed about $500 more to actually pass this eval account. So if I did left my automation on, then I would have basically passed an eval account just in 2 weeks. But I didn't really want to risk it since it was Friday, because the last couple of Fridays has been poor price action. So I'm hoping that the next trading day or the next trade will be a winner, so I can just pass. If the next trade would be a loser, then that's going to sit me back a little bit. And I did increase my contract size basically from 7 basically to 10. And I'm using only the same settings. I did not change any of these settings at all. So let me go back. So I'm using the Swift Algo X indicator only. Excuse me. So I'm using the Swift Algo X indicator. The link will be in my description. And the only settings I'm using is I'm trading on the 1-minute time frame. Indicator sensitivity is 5 minutes. Algorithm multiply, I set that to 8. Algorithm pair, I set that to 2. Risk to reward, I set that to 1. Max stop loss size percentage, I set that to 0.2. And obviously I enable this. EMA, I keep that as default 300, and I keep the calculate bars as 5,000. This was unchanged. And I use the conflux advanced version. The link will be in my description for this one too. And same thing, I choose single, buy signal only. Make sure this is checked. Then I use sell signal only. I don't really use this. If you're using the conflux advanced version, you do have to change the base quantity to 10, because this is basically the number of contracts. And I want this to trade all sessions, so I do keep this on check. And I use the indicator exit method, and then I choose take profit, stop loss, then take profit and stop loss again. And then I do use the break even feature. I keep this as default 50%, 50, and I change this from 0 to 1. And then I change this basically to 10. This doesn't really make a difference because it goes off the base quantity on the inputs anyways. And then that's really all I do with the Conflux on my advanced version, but both links will be in my description for that. So other than that, I did not change any of the settings. I've been using 8 and 2. And as you can see, the strategy report, the reason why I chose to use 8 for the multiply and 2 for the period, because at one time it was actually a 100% win rate. And when I looked at the strategy report on multiple of them, this actually had the best report of all these settings I saw. Because if you go back last 30 days, excuse me, give it a couple seconds to load. And I'll be basically purchasing a fourth eval account probably next week and using 10 contracts, same settings. And I'm probably going to be applying this on one of my funded accounts using 4 contracts this time instead of 2, using the same settings as well. And looking at the strategy report, as you can see, the profit factor was 4.0. Profitable trades was 78%, 33 trades. Total P&L was over 10,000. Max drawdown was over 5,000. And this was just the last 30 days. I only like to do 7 days and 30 days. I don't like to do 90 days that often, but let's see what it says for the last 90 days. So yeah, that's one of my plans is I'm gonna continue using this eval account, hoping it'll pass at least on Sunday. But I will be purchasing a fourth eval account, basically same settings. And then my newest funded account, which I did got the consistency rule. This actually has $0 because I have not traded on this one yet. But I'll be using basically the same settings, 8 and 2 with 4 contracts, and see how it does on this one. My first funded account, which is this one right there, I'm actually up 1.4K in balance at the moment. I'll be using 4 contracts instead of 2. And I'll be basically updating the settings once per day before Asia session. So I'll continue doing that and see how it goes. So last 90 days got me over 14,000 and 5K drawdown. So it's actually not bad. It's still pretty profitable. So yeah, out of all the settings, 8 and 2 was actually had the best strategy report at that time. And honestly, I don't think it really makes a difference. You can obviously update the settings. I would just suggest updating it once per day. I usually do it before Asia session actually starts, and I don't update it until the next day. If it takes a loss, then it takes a loss. If it takes a win, then great, it takes a win. But honestly, it doesn't really matter which settings you use because every settings will have losing trades. Every setting probably has been to 100%. For example, like using the settings 8 and 2, for example, got me 100% on the dashboard multiple times. Then it loses a trade, the win rate drops down and then drops down again. Then after that, then it will go on a winning streak and goes back up to 100. So because I'm noticing really common multipliers and periods, like multiplier 10 and period 2 has got to 100% multiple times. So I don't think it really makes a huge difference. You can update it if you want, and you can also update it after each loss if you want, but I don't recommend or suggest that. But you can always experiment with a demo account and see what works best for you. But I've been using Swift Algo X since last December, and I've just been noticing that really common multipliers and pairs, like 7 and 3. I saw that multiple times at 100%. Then 10 and 2 is also another common one I saw. Then I think 9 and 1 is also another common one. Then 8 and 2. So those are common ones I saw that has really good strategy reports. And it's been it's been at 100% like multiple times. Then it loses a trade, drops down, then wins again, goes back up to 100%. So I don't think it would really matter that much. Because I've been using 8 and 2, and 8 and 2 is at 80% at the moment. It's at 100%, but as long as it's gonna run a couple of trades, it's gonna go up to back to 100%. So just figure out what works best for you. And looking at this week's, this was a winner. This was a winner. This was obviously a loser, but I find most of my trades to be usually in the Asia to London session. I don't really see it taking trades in the New York session that much. In this trade, I probably would not be in this trade because I probably would be out probably by 9 or 10. I don't like to trade no later than like 8 a.m. And this is actually based on PST time, so 6:30 a.m. PST to 2 o'clock p.m. PST is actually New York session in California. So like this session, I probably would have avoided this trade because I don't trade like in the late afternoon. I probably would stop maybe at this point right there. So that's that. And Swift Algo X and Conflux is the only two I'm actually using. At the moment, I've been using those two since December, and I've been pretty profitable with it. But obviously, my NinjaTrader is my personal live cash account. Top Step is really just more on experimentation, showing you guys, yes, you can pass passively using automation. It's basically like getting a cheat code to a test. Because something that can pass your eval account and get you payouts for those who don't have a lot of money in their personal live cash account. So I personally use Top Step at the moment. And once I get like 5 Express Fund accounts and go up to live, then I'll probably would branch out and choose probably my next prop for maybe top 1 futures, and then maybe Tradeify after, so I can have more funded accounts. But this is basically for you guys, showing you that if you don't have money, you can obviously do Top Step, for example. Because if you plug this in, you only have to pay like $50, and then once you pass, you have to pay a one-time activation fee of $149. So that's about like basically almost $200. And then or you can just get the no activation fee and pay $109, and then you can get basically your Express Funded accounts. And these two was actually got because I use Swift Algo X and Conflux on automation. I don't manual trade it, I just do on automation. And it's also been getting me payouts as well. And then you can use your payouts to actually fund your personal life account. So you're not actually risking your own capital. So yeah, so other than that, that's all I'm really gonna talk about in this video. Don't really have much to say. If you want to know how to automate, then check out my other YouTube videos on my channel. It shows you how to automate, and I do talk about the Swift Algo X settings as well as the Conflux settings more in depth. This is really just more on what I'm going to be doing in the next couple of weeks, and basically my trading recap from this week. Other than that, I'll catch you guys in the next video.